And welcome into the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show from the Live Casino Hotel Studio. Glenn Clark, Kyle Ottenheimer, and of course, the host of the show, Mr. Ken Zalis, Pressbox Fantasy Football expert. KZ, what's going on, sir?
Not much. How's everybody doing?
Everything's all right. This is like one of those fortunate weeks where there weren't like any like catastrophic, devastating injuries to have to deal with.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate.
I said one of those fortunate weeks.
No. You said unfortunate.
Devontae Adams owners may kind of question you on that, but other than that, yeah, it wasn't horrible.
But Devontae Adams isn't like out for the year.
No,
out for
but he may.
Still put up like 180.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you know, he's going to miss this week for sure. So maybe another. So
But this isn't one where you're making drastic.
No, we're not.
Decisions.
Nobody's gone for the year unless you had the Denver defense and you lost Bradley Chubb and things like that. So yes, pretty. I mean, unless you were starting Mitchell Trubisky.
I'd like to hope that you were.
I would hope
like
at this point,
but that is a list of no one that was.
I drafted him, but I dropped him after week 1.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some of the big storylines this week. We'll begin with the Chargers backfield.
Yes.
As we knew Melvin Gordon was going to be back, and then they got him involved in the first week. What kind of sense do you get? I get the sense that if you own Gordon or Ekeler, you're probably playing them this week.
Yes. I have Ekeler still over Gordon in a PPR and a half PPR situation. Gordon is a low running back 2 for me, and Ekeler is a middle RB2. I keep on pointing back to it. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face that Ekeler had standalone value last year, even when Gordon was playing, especially in a PPR only league. So I think that you look at Gordon. I think he may be a little bit TD dependent, but you've got to think that we're looking at somewhere around 15 touches this week. And if he does get that touchdown, he's obviously, a top 20 back. Right. So I think that's where you got to rank him. The Denver defense is tricky. I want to call them better than they've been. Than they've been playing. They're not easy to move the ball. Bradley Chubb not being there makes them a little bit more susceptible to the pass and things like that. So I think if you have Gordon, like I said, I wasn't going to use him last week, but you gotta put him in this week.
Are you nervous as an Ekeler owner about this? Like the way they're talking out there is like, no, Melvin Gordon's our guy.
Right.
Like, are you nervous about that at all?
No, because last year Melvin Gordon was their guy, and Ekeler was a top, I want to say finished somewhere in the top 20 in PPR. So I'm not super nervous because I think he's proven it. They're going to run Gordon a little bit into the ground because he's not going to be there, but I'm not super nervous until it gives me a reason to be. I still think that Ekeler is flex worthy at worst on a fantasy football team.
I mean, with their wide receiver depth, right, alone, that he's got to stay involved in the passing game, right?
Well, you have to think. I mean, we still don't know what Mike Williams' deal is. They brought in Inman to replace Williams, and Inman's now on IR. They're missing their tight end still, who looks like he's still a couple of weeks away. Although Henry was back on the practice field in pads running around this week. So he's got to be involved at some point. I mean, like I said, standard league, I'm probably a little lower on him than I am in a PPR, half PPR, but he's not going away entirely.
Let's talk about a couple players that are back from suspensions this week. The headline being Golden Tate, who presumably with Daniel Jones having some success, I got to imagine he's somebody you're thinking about playing. Maybe you wait a week.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait a week. This is tricky for me because, Barkley is still out, although apparently he heals really well. It's absolutely insane that it's gone from 6 to 8 weeks at the best.
It was 4 to 8, but yeah.
Well, he's at 2.
I know.
I mean, I don't believe them right now. But they're like
you saw a video of him cutting.
I know, like they're literally talking like he's going to play this week, and it's like I just find that miraculous. But let's go back to Tate. This puts a whole mess into their whole passing game because we really liked Evan Ingram, and we still like him because tight end is so shallow, but the targets are going to go down.
Yep.
Shepard has had a couple of really good weeks. The targets are going to go down. And then you have Tate, who everybody preseason before he was suspended was like, oh, this is a great spot for him. He's going to get all these short passes from Eli. Well, Eli's no longer the quarterback. I don't know how many times before this week he's actually caught a ball or worked with Daniel Jones. Because in the preseason, you have to think he was working mostly with Eli.
Yeah.
So I want to wait a week. I have him down as a wide receiver 4. I mean, if you have to, I get it. There are worse options out there.
Look, this is not like a bye week hell.
No, this is not a bye week.
You might have Marvin Jones or Kenny Galladay out.
I mean, the Dolphins are on bye, so I know it's screwing up a lot of fantasy teams
as far
as
trying to get their defense.
Well,
right? Yeah, your defense to play against. The Dolphins,
I mean, it's screwing up my survivor pool for sure.
Yeah.
But outside of that, Detroit, it hurts a little bit. I mean, they have some players. I mean, Galladay's been really good this year. Kerryon Johnson.
But this isn't a week where you're going to have 3 guys on bye.
Like next week, Golden Tate's going to have to play. I mean, we're starting to get into the 4 and 6,
the bye week hell,
right. And it's just not this week for me for Tate. And I own him like just about everywhere. I've held on to. He's one of the few guys that I drafted and held on to for these 4 weeks, hoping, okay, I'm going to get a wide receiver 2 at worst when he's back. I just want to see how it all works out with Daniel Jones as the quarterback.
How do you feel about, let's, for example, say you have Hawkinson, right?
Hawkinson.
And he's on a bye.
Yes.
Is Benjamin Watson someone that you consider as he returns from his suspension?
Yeah, because what's been, not that the Patriots have been bad on offense, but what's been missing? They don't have a tight end at all to be useful. And, I know Ben Watson is like 45 or whatever he is now, but, man, he still gets it done. Every time he's played well, no matter what uniform he's been in. And, this is I got these a couple of questions about this. I mean, to me, he's right away in the top 15 this week at tight end, and he's knocking on the door of a tight end 1. And if he shows anything at all, it's being part of this offense. You're gonna throw him right in there week in and week out the rest of the way.
Also helps they're playing the Redskins this week.
It does. It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, they could get out to a big lead and just run the ball the entire time. But it does help. I think we'll see. We'll see pretty quickly. It'll be interesting to see how this all works, how it affects Edelman, how it affects James White a little bit. Those guys were the underneath guys where the tight end would normally operate. So it'll be interesting. But he's somebody. I mean, if he's on your waiver wire, he's got to be rostered at this point. And while we're talking tight ends, if Chris Herndon's on your waiver wire, we just got to wait this week, and then he's back and. People were talking about him as a top 10 option before this suspension. So, he's a guy to look out for.
He is Ken Zalis. He's in the Live Casino Hotel studio for the Press Box Fantasy Football Show. It's brought to you by Glory Days Grill. Catch all the action at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill, where they have tons of TVs to catch every moment of every game. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports. Somebody asked me if I thought that the Derrick Henry was going to improve because they're getting Taylor Lewan back in Tennessee. I don't know that anybody's I'm assuming
hurt.
Right, but I don't think anybody's not been playing Derrick Henry.
I mean he hasn't been awful.
Yeah.
He's Derrick Henry is who he is. I mean, he's going to have those really, really good games, and he's going to have those still get his 15 to 20 carries, but they're only going to go for 80 yards type games.
Right.
All of a sudden, the Tennessee Titans are throwing the ball all over the field last week, which came out of nowhere. But no, I mean, Henry he's always going to be in that running back 2 just because of the volume that he gets week in and week out. But Lewan can't hurt. I mean, you get a good tackle back. I mean, better blocking should help everybody. So, yeah, can't hurt.
All right. And then as far as headlines are concerned, there's been a lot of scuttle regarding Stephon Diggs. Scuttlebutt fine regarding Stephon Diggs. Obviously, some of us have been drastically disappointed in our ownership of Stephon Diggs this season, but it has more to do with the situation and his quarterback. The word is that they're not going to trade him. How nervous? I mean, I assume you're still playing him. Like, I can't fathom a scenario in which you're putting Stephon Diggs on your bench unless you're a very wealthy team at the wide receiver position.
Yeah, I mean, Diggs had a serviceable game last week. I mean, he was the better of the two wide receivers last week for Minnesota. The reality is that even if Kirk Cousins sends love's notes to his wide receivers again this week, they want to run the ball 25 plus times a game, and you look at what you think the game script could be this week against the Giants, who they're a better football team than. They could get up early and just run the ball. Cousins hasn't been good, but, I mean, first of all, the Vikings, in order to trade Diggs, have got to eat $15 million, I think, each of the next 2 years in order to do that with his contract. So
the dead money.
Dead money. So he's going to be tough to trade. They're going to want the world for him to do it. So I don't necessarily disbelieve that he's not on the block.
I've never thought that he was actually going to be dealt.
So I think there's a lot of people that say, oh, he's not getting used and they're running the ball. But I mean, their next guy is some guy named Johnson, a rookie.
Osibi. No idea who you're talking about.
Osibi Johnson.
Well, so they brought back Laquan Treadwell.
Yeah, they brought back Treadwell.
I loved him in college.
We all did.
Absolutely.
Who didn't?
I would have gone to the well for Laquan Treadwell in college.
But I think you just got to wait him out. If you have better options, I mean, he's a wide receiver 3. I think this week I actually like him a little bit because the coverage is going to go more towards Thielen. By the way, they're ruining Thielen by having him on the outside. They just need to put some other wide receiver on the outside and let Thielen do his thing in the slot where he's the most dangerous. But the Minnesota offense is what it is. I mean, we're 4 weeks in. This is what they want to do. And by the way, they're not being unsuccessful at it. So it's not going to change. We're not going back to where Kirk Cousins is going to throw the ball 35 to 40 times a game.
All right. We're going to answer your questions. Get them in at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter. You can also post them in the comments section here on Facebook, and we will get to them. We will set your lineups for Week 5. We will first set my lineup because first mine. First mine, then yours. That's fine.
Save that's for last.
And then we will get to your questions as Ken Zalis is here. It's the Press Box Fantasy Football Show. Need 30 seconds. We'll be right back. Catch all of the action at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill, where we have tons of TVs to catch every moment of every game. Enjoy $6.99 burgers on Mondays, $5.99 nachos on Thursdays, and drink specials throughout the season to help you cheer on your favorite teams. Come in today and try something new from our seasonal menu. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports.
Need groceries today but don't have time to shop? Order online with same-day pickup or delivery at Wise Markets. Wise to go online. Now that's convenient.
Back in here, the Press Box Fantasy Football Show. Glenn Clark, Ken Zalis, of course, Press Box Fantasy Football expert. All right, KZ.
Here we go.
Yeah, set my lineup. Actually, in one league, I really don't have any questions.
Oh, that's good to know.
I was disappointed. Tom Brady screwed me a week ago, so I took my first loss in that league.
That'll happen.
But otherwise,
nobody's going undefeated.
Well,
okay.
You say that. I had my sights set on it. But no, I'm going to ride it out with Austin Ekeler there, and none of the group of Miles Sanders, Golden Tate. I'm not playing any of those guys over him. So let me go to the actual questions I have. I continue to. I'll bring you a wide receiver question. I've got to play for sure one of these guys, probably two of them. But I'll start with one of Tyrell Williams, Stephon Diggs, Golden Tate, Mecole Hardman.
We're gonna go Diggs here. I like the matchup. I think what we saw last week is what we can expect from Diggs most weeks. 4 or 5 catches, 70, 80 yards. All we got to do is get a touchdown in there to make it a really good fantasy day. Tyrell Williams, I said it last week. I don't want to play wide receivers against the Bears. I don't want to play anybody against the Bears.
Well, you say that, but slow down because
I know, but the number one guy they took out was Thielen.
No, I understand.
And so Tyrell Williams,
right?
They're going to take him out of the game.
No, but I'm saying I have to still play somebody. So of this group,
you said what?
I know, but then I have a flex spot too, and so I have to play someone from this group.
So who's the group?
Frank Gore, Tyrell Williams, Golden Tate, or Mecole Hardman. Go ahead, say it.
Frank Gore. He won't die, so you might as well play him.
You say he won't die. I think someday he's going to die.
But look at how productive he is.
I hear you.
I mean, I don't know. We have to see. Here we are on Thursday doing this. I still want to see where Singletary is with all this and how much he's getting in practicing. That would sour the Frank Gore a little bit. But you're
okay. So is it if Singletary plays, you're not playing Frank Gore?
No, not necessarily, because I don't like your other options.
I don't either. I wish I had better.
I don't like your other options. I mean,
you got to play the guys you have.
For 3 weeks, everybody's been asking me about Hardman, and exactly what I've been saying is true. He's a big play, touchdown-dependent wide receiver who plays in a good offense, but you're going to have to go through 1 catch for 7 yards and 2 catches for 9 yards, 2 out of every 3 weeks when it doesn't happen. And it's just he's tough to start in fantasy, even in a good matchup like this.
All right, and I know the answer is Winston and Garoppolo is the question. I know the answer is Winston. I know it is. But I'm still apprehensive.
I know, and there's not been a player this week so far that I've been asked about more than those 2 players. I just, and it seems like everybody has Goff and Winston to me on the same roster, including myself.
Well, this is my Drew Brees,
and
this
right.
Is my Drew
I mean,
Brees
this
week.
Look, it's Winston because Goff has proven that he's not good on the road, and it's a short week.
I said Garoppolo, not Goff.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I said Garoppolo.
Garoppolo.
Winston
It's still.
And I know it's Winston. I'm just. There's still something about committing to Jameis Winston that I'm really struggling.
I know
with.
it's scary because, but 2 out of the last 3 weeks he's been really good. Right. He's been really good, and he's got the best weapons. And, it's just him. You just got to go with you got to bite that bullet and hope that's the shootout that we think it could be.
All right, go ahead, Kyle.
Galladay's on a bye this week. As a result, I am left with these options at flex. I have Cortland Sutton, Miles Sanders, Michael Gallup, Terry McLaurin, and Carlos Hyde.
So I want to play Gallup.
I had a feeling you were going to say
I want to play Gallup, but I'm also a little bit hesitant because he's coming back from the injury, and I want to see does he get the full practice in on Friday. Now, by all accounts, he was full go yesterday. He was a target monster before the injury and looking like he was everything we thought he was going to be coming out of college. So I want to lean you in that direction.
So if Gallup practices fully all through the week, you think
I think I would go Gallup. I would go Gallup based on the targets that he's going to get in that offense. I mean, Green Bay doesn't scare me that much on defense.
I mean, Jair Alexander is one of the best corners in the league, but I think he'd be on Cooper.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're getting the number 2.
Right.
That's the thing with when Gallup's there is that he's good enough to beat that number 2 when he's not getting the double coverage. He runs underneath a whole bunch so they get him the ball in space. Again, I don't have him full go right now in my rankings because I wanted to see that he practices, but he's going to be in my top 30 if he plays.
All right. Currently, I have the Niners defense against the Browns on Monday night. I think that they have a better chance of exploiting the Browns' offensive line than the Ravens did.
One would hope.
Yeah. Among the options on the wire that include the Falcons, Panthers, Steelers, Chiefs, Bengals, Buccaneers, Browns, Seahawks. Are any of them better options than the Niners?
No. I would go with the Niners.
Okay. And then the only other question I have is what would be the move as far as owning both Damian Williams and LaShawn McCoy?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, like not playing both. Who would you play if you had to play one of them?
This week, McCoy.
Okay.
Until Williams proves, he's got his number 1 starting job back. It looks like they were using him, and that's a mess right now altogether because Darrell Williams has been really, really good too. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to lean McCoy.
And is Adrian Peterson worth having on your roster?
I said 2 weeks ago, no.
Okay.
All right, let's fly through some of these. From Paul in Ovilando, in a PPR, need a flex. DJ Chark, Demarcus Robinson, Jamison Crowder, or Raheem Mostert?
Robinson.
Okay. From Jamie. Jamie wants to know half-point PPR, needs a flex. DJ Moore, Josh Jacobs, or Wayne Gallman?
Ooh. Gallman, as long as Barkley is totally out. You know, I mean, that.
By the way, I'm like, if Barkley's playing, you're playing him, I assume. It's Saquon Barkley we're talking about. I just can't fathom that he's.
If he practices fully Friday, and they say he's a go and he's starting, how do you not?
I just can't fathom.
I can't either.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at my rankings of where would I put him in, and he's no worse than 9th. I'd have him ahead of Mack and Gurley this week, right below Fournette. So,
but presuming he's out.
It's Gallman.
Gallman. Okay. John in Little Rock, PPR, Aaron Jones or Austin Ekeler?
Ooh. Aaron Jones.
PPR flex, one from Golden Tate, James White, Aaron Jones, or Calvin Ridley?
I like Aaron Jones this week. I like the fact that he's not going to share anything with Williams at all. So he'll get all the touches.
I like Wise Markets. If you need groceries today but don't have time to shop, order online with same-day pickup or delivery at Wise Markets. Wise to go online. Now that's convenient. Nick Kelly, 2 of these 3 running backs. I'm a professional. Kind of doing this
really
for a little
good.
while.
It was very smooth. Deserved the golf clap.
2 of these, James White, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Freeman, David Johnson.
Well, Johnson's a must start this week. I think I have him in my top 5.
Okay.
I want to play Freeman so bad. He's giving me no reason to. What is it, PPR or half PPR?
Yeah, PPR.
PPR, James White.
Okay. Tony wants to know if both Devin Singletary and Frank Gore play, who are you playing? If
it's my team, I'm playing Gore because I'm always more conservative and want to see the hurt guy perform before I play him.
Sure.
And he's always the in-game injury risk to me, so I'm going to play Gore.
Dave says, have to start running back from this group. Frank Gore, Miles Sanders, and Tariq Cohen.
It's James White of that group.
No James White. I said Frank Gore, Miles Sanders, and Tariq Cohen.
Maybe the most cagey moment of all time.
It's always James White.
So obsessed with James White. It is amazing, isn't it?
Somebody dropped James White in a league, and I had
Jesus Christ.
Somebody dropped one of mine also.
Somebody dropped him. I'm like, what? I was like, really? It's like
James White?
I don't even remember if I got him.
I didn't get him. I don't think. I don't have anyone to drop on my team, but yeah, I know.
Well, there was a situation like that. Somebody dropped George Kittle last week. Give me the names one more time. I know, it was crazy.
I mean, George Kittle.
I know. I was like, what?
I mean, I get it's a bye week.
It was a bye week, and he
Maybe
didn't
he
drop.
had Waller. I don't know.
It was just really. I went back. I was like, who did he drop
Yeah,
for?
who
It
was he so desperate
it's
to
like
give a roster
he
spot
dropped.
to?
He dropped him for Eric Ebron because he needed a tight end. I'm like,
No.
dude.
No. Well, he doesn't.
Okay, give me the names again. Sorry.
Gore. There's a follow up to this too. Gore, Sanders, or Cohen. PPR.
Cohen.
Ooh, going Cohen. How about that? All right, now he says needs a flex from the 2. So it'd be Gore and Sanders, Corey Davis, or Terry McLaurin.
Gore.
You're in on Frank Gore. You are
he's
in
just,
on Frank
well,
Gore.
he's going to get the touches. I mean, it's a tough matchup. Sanders, I want to play Sanders so badly, but
Miles, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to play him, but
it's just no. It's not.
It's
Well,
just
Jordan
I mean,
Howard did that work, yeah.
Howard's getting all the goal line work right now.
Jordan Howard was available in a few of my leagues this week.
yeah,
but he got picked up. He was a bye.
He should have been. I mean,
waiver
people are going to
pickup.
be disappointed in that, but because he just had his game of the year. But it's hard to play Miles Sanders, and he looked good the other night. I mean, his runs, were explosive. He was a toe from going like 70 yards. I want to play him, but it's just
another Gore question. A flex, Gore or Greg Olson?
I like Olsen.
It's the most puzzling question
It
of all time,
It
right?
really is. It's tough. Both of these guys are like ancient. If it's a PPR, I'm going to go Olsen because he's involved in it.
He didn't tell me, but
if it's a standard, you know what? Let's just go Olsen.
Ooh.
okay.
Let's just go Olsen.
Right.
He's involved. Allen looks for him. I know Allen was terrible last week but they won, and Gore was still Olsen was still targeted.
Will Fuller or Terry McLaurin?
Fuller.
Okay. This is I assume the answer. You're playing Brady no matter what. I assume this week, but somebody did ask Brady or Rodgers.
Oh no.
I think you're Rodgers, probably.
I think
Brady against the Redskins.
Redskins, you don't need. You're not going to need to do that much all game. You know.
So,
you don't think the Patriots, after they looked piss poor a week ago, aren't going to purposely come out and try to score 1,000 points this week?
I think the answer is Brady. They're both top 10 guys this week, but there's no Adams, so we'll go Brady. I mean that's gonna affect the passing game. How much I don't know, but it's going to affect the passing game.
Need to start 2 receivers from this group. Tyra is a PPR. Tyrell Williams, Demarcus Robinson, Will Fuller, and Deontay Johnson.
So want to start Deontay Johnson.
He's I picked him up in a couple of leagues this week.
I picked him up, started him last week, and I had him in a DFS, and it's like, ooh, because he's being targeted.
Right.
I mean, and the thing is that they're throwing so much short that it's fine.
Again, the list is Tyrell Williams, Demarcus Robinson, Will Fuller, Deontay Johnson.
Fuller and Robinson.
Okay. All right. It's too generic of a question, Steve. Steve says, what should I be thinking about? You just mentioned that a bunch of teams are on a bye next week. What should I be trying to get ahead of? Well, you'd have to give me your roster for us to be able to
I know
answer
that there's 4 teams on a bye. I couldn't tell you what 4 teams they are because that's not the way I live right now.
Right.
But you have to – what you should be thinking about is –
They are the Raiders, the Colts, and other teams.
Thank you.
I'll see if I can find them.
Wow.
Couldn't be more helpful.
Okay, so I mean, you want to pick up guys this week that you're going to need. So here's the move when you're dealing with this. You set your lineup for this week,
Right, and
then you start to figure out. Okay, the
Bears. Go on. The Bears and the Panthers. No. And the Bills.
The Bills. Okay, so it's not a crushing week.
No,
it's not a crushing week. But you get in your lineup, and then on Sunday, if you can still pick up guys, you drop the guys on your bench that you're not going to use next week,
right,
to get ahead of the waiver wire.
So, for example, I have the Bills' defense is my defense in one league,
right.
and
are the Redskins worth trusting against the Dolphins? Is a question, right?
Ooh,
in the next week they play the Dolphins. The Dolphins were the de facto start anyway.
Which team's going to try to lose more?
Okay, what about
the question?
So then you would opt if you were going to try to get ahead of the defenses. You would like Dallas against the Jets next week better.
Yes.
At New York,
yes.
Even though Darnold will probably play.
Yes.
So here's an example, right? Somebody dropped the Ravens defense in this league that I'm in,
as they should.
Since I have the Bills as my defense and they're off next week, I might on Friday or whatever day it is try to pick up the Ravens defense for next week and drop, say, Mecole Hardman.
Yeah. Absolutely.
In the process,
absolutely,
of doing it. That would be something that
would
I would
be
do
something
to try
you would
to
do.
get ahead of
it.
Bye week issues for next week.
Yes.
All right. Anything else that really jumps out at you about this week, Week 5, that people need to keep in mind?
Mike Nugent.
What
Kickers
about?
are people too. New kicker for the
I had
for the New England Patriots.
I think it's Young Hoku.
No, they had him in. They signed Mike Nugent.
Okay.
They had him in for a tryout.
Kyle really thought that he
Son Young
had
Ho.
something on him.
I'm
No, they'd signed Mike Nugent.
Okay.
Yeah, they signed Mike Nugent. I don't know what just happened there.
I don't know.
He's
So
fine.
I mean, I know that I know people.
It's literally what he said.
I know people. I get kicker questions every week, which I'm like, flip a coin, dude. I mean, they're kickers. And
been on Sly all year long.
I mean, Sly's been really good, but like somebody asked me, Sly versus Elliott. I'm like,
somebody asked me that this a year ago. I think I still pose the kicker questions that came into you. I will no longer, if you put in a kicker question, I will not bring it up on the show. We're not going to talk about kickers.
I'll answer them if you go on the Twitter. You can tweet me. I will still answer them. But also understand that most of these are coin flips. Unless you own, Butker or Lutz or, Tucker, Whatever.
Correct.
Whatever.
Correct.
Go with the kicker.
Go find a good offense.
Well, go find the kicker that's available on waiver wire that Vegas thinks is going to be the highest total.
Yeah, the
game,
projected points.
and
right,
go play that kicker.
I'm with you on that. That's the best solution. Hey, reminder, every Monday at 12:30, Booker Corrigan and Dom D'Amico are talking high school football. It's the Pressbox High School Football Show. Every Monday at 12:30. It's brought to you by the U.S. Army Glen Burnie Transmissions. Appreciate them making it happen each and every Monday. The Pressbox High School Football Show, Facebook.com/PressboxSports and PressboxOnline.com/radio.
One more thing.
Yes.
Should Barkley play this week?
Yes.
Everybody who owns Gallman that doesn't own Barkley needs to try to get something they need for Gallman.
But who's going to try to acquire Gallman with Barkley?
Well, you have Barkley again. Same people that wanted to trade Barkley when they thought he was going to be out for 6 weeks.
Yeah. Some people have tried to trade for Saquon Barkley when they thought he was going to be out.
It worked in 2 leagues.
Terrible human being.
It worked in 2 leagues.
You should be ashamed of yourself, sir.
I feel great.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I gave
for
up
what
lots
you did.
of value.
Yeah, I'm really still pissed off about that. It's affected the way that I feel about you as a human being.
That's okay.
It's the way it goes.
I can take it.
I will still have Ken Zalis in studio, however, this Sunday for Project Game Day. Looking forward to that. He's got the next 2 weeks.
I have the next 2 weeks. Good thing I wasn't there this week.
I mean, everything's. But this is the problem now: is you're starting to become. I know what's going to happen. No matter what occurs on Sunday, you're just going to come in and tell me about Harbaugh. That's all you're going to do.
No, I'm not.
This is what you're going to do on Sunday. Whatever occurs, it's all on Harbaugh.
I hope all the communication errors disappear.
I guarantee you're going to come in here.
I guarantee I'm not. If they win, all they have to do is win.
All right. Well, I hope that's the case. Project Game Day on Sunday afternoon.
Fingers crossed.
KZ joins me post game. Again, it's at Fans Fantasy on Twitter. If you didn't get your question in, you can still pose it to him. PressboxOnline.com to see all of his rankings, things along those lines. We will see you on Sunday. Thanks, KZ.
Thank you.
See you next week. We will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for Glenn Clark Radio. This has been the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show.